Roughly about 20 years and 9 months after the end of the First World War, the Second World War was broke out on 1st September 1939. The world was plunged into the terrible war that resulted in loss of life and property at an unprecedented scale. The Treaty of Versailles contained within itself the germs of another global war. The First World War and its harsh peace treaties showed the seeds for the Second World War. This war was not a continuation of the First World War, and the similarity in causes, the characters, are more than superficial. The damage caused by the Second World War surpassed all other wars and brought the world to the brink of complete destruction. In this lesson, we are going to study about the causes of Second World War. So, under the causes, we are going to deal about only the five causes. First one, the Treaty of Versailles, and second one, the rise of Fascism and Nazism, and the third one, failure of League of Nations, and the fourth one, Japan's invasion of China. The last and fifth one, immediate cause, that is German invasion of Poland and demand for the Danzig corridor. The Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles, by which the First World War came to an end, and also it created more problems than it solved. The treaty demanded annexation of German territories and the creation of many states. This showed the seeds of bitterness and conflict. In fact, this treaty was based on the spirit of revenge, and the Germans were forced to sign this treaty. All the German colonies were forcibly taken away from her, and she was divided into two parts for the benefits of the Poland. Germany was burdened with huge war indemnity which she could never pay. Her military power also reduced. This humiliation gave rise to the spirit of revenge, and Germany started looking an opportunity to do away with the harsh treaty. But this was not possible without an aggressive policy and armaments. Hence, the war became inevitable or unavoidable. Rise of Fascism and Nazism. The rise of extreme nationalism in Italy and Germany in the form of fascism and Nazism respectively contributed to the Second World War. Italy wanted to revive the glory of old Roman Empire. That's why she joined with the Anti-Comintern Pact in 1937 and formed the 10 years alliance with Germany in 1939 to strengthen her position. Mussolini established the dictatorship in Italy. He opposed the Treaty of Versailles. Italy demonstrated her imperialistic designs by attacking the Abyssinia. The League of Nations failed to take any action against Italy, which exhibited the weakness of the League of Nations. The same way in Germany also, Hitler wanted to re-establish the prestige of Germany in the international field. He floated the military causes in the Treaty of Versailles, declared the rearmament. In 1938, he annexed Austria and dismembered the Czechoslovakia. Thus, the Mussolini and Hitler drove the countries of the world towards the another world war. Failure of the League of Nations. The League of Nations was created after the First World War to prevent future wars. However, the League suffered an early blow when the USA did not join the League. Even those who joined the League were not interested in the principle of collective security. The League of Nations succeeded in allaying the threat of war in cases where the parties were small nations. The League did nothing when Poland, with the backing of France, seized the part of Lithuania in 1920. In 1923 also, there was a threat of war between Italy and Greece. Italy refused to submit the League intervention, and the dispute was settled by direct mediation of Great Britain and France. Thereafter, in every crisis, League was either defied or ignored. The authority of League was floated by Japan when it seized the place called Manchuria in 1931, and by Italy when it conquered the Ethiopia in 1936. The coercive machinery of League was not adequate to perform the task given to it. The economic sanctions were of no use against the determined aggressor. Moreover, the member states were not willing to apply economic sanctions as it affected their economy as well. Besides, the League failed to maintain the international peace, and the countries of Europe lost the faith in its usefulness. Thereafter, they themselves entered into the mutual political and military alliances. Japan invasion of China. Japanese policy of expansion was another cause of the Second World War. Japan's ambitions rose after the First World War. She was decided to dominate the Far East. In 1931, Japan intervened in Manchuria and, in spite of League opposition, occupied it and set up the government there. Japan also started an undeclared war against China in the year 1931. China appealed the League of Nations to declare the sanctions against Japan. Britain, France, the leading members of the League, did not pay any attention to this appeal. Japan joined the Berlin-Rome axis to form the Berlin-Rome-Tokyo axis to further its policy of expansion and conquest. In 1933, Japan left the League of Nations and started occupying the British and American properties in China. Britain and France followed the policy of appeasement, thinking that Japanese could be used to weaken China. Thus, a war was inevitable under this circumstance. Immediate cause or Hitler's invasion of Poland. Hitler invaded this Poland in September 1939 for three reasons. First one, by the Treaty of Versailles, Germany was divided into two parts in order to give a land route to the Poland up to the sea, and the port of Danzig also was given to the Poland. So now Germany wanted to regain her lost places. Second reason, the city of Danzig was inhabited mainly by the Germans, and by occupying the Danzig corridor, German can connect the East Prussia. And a third reason, Germany signed the non-aggression pact with Russia in August 1939. The Poland was accused of committing atrocities against the Germans living in the place Poland. So by this way, on September 1, 1939, German armies marched towards the Poland. France and Britain gave an ultimatum to Germany. In reply, Germany attacked the France. On September 3, Britain and France declared war on Germany. Thus, the invasion of Poland marked the beginning of Second World War.